All right, Jeremy has learned how to use the timer. This is big.
Episode 45.
45 episodes in.
Aren't you sweet, Joe?
I love
You
it.
shouldn't
I
throw
love
me on
it.
the table onto this one.
No, not on this one.
Appreciate it.
I was going to ask how long it took him to learn how to use the mic and the microphone.
Mic I'm good at. Mic I'm good
Oh,
at.
just the timer.
Just the timer.
Just the timer.
Listen, coming on my show, knock it on me right away.
Hey,
At least get 3-4 minutes in the show before you start cracking on me here.
I was just making an observation.
Hey, she did wait 25 seconds.
It's okay. We're 37 seconds in.
But a lot going on here in the world of hospitality. You know, we're getting summertime's coming. We just passed Memorial Weekend, which is always just insanity.
We were slammed. Everything we had was slammed for Memorial Day.
Yeah, I had perfect weather. You couldn't beat it. It just
Hot.
Yeah.
But I'll take hot over rain, hot over cold.
Yeah.
See, I'm the opposite. I would much rather cold.
Really?
I can always put
You'd rather
more
have
clothes
56 degrees out and cold and the wind hitting you in the face?
on. Oh, 56 sounds wonderful.
I like sleeping when it's 56 degrees. But outside, I want it 90.
Yeah, I worked at Chick-fil-A and we'd have to work the drive-thru. We'd work in like 30-degree weather. And it was like,
still to say my pleasure?
yeah, still had to say my pleasure and still had to smile the whole time. Like, I can't feel my lips, so I don't know if I'm smiling or not.
Let's talk about that for a minute. How was training? I want to hear about training. How many days was training? Now that you obviously took the orders, right?
Yeah.
You were the order girl?
So they separated their service into front house and back of house. And front of house consisted from anything of taking the orders, making drinks, giving out orders, packaging the food. Like that was kind of all of our job. Back of house was all of the kitchen and like the behind the scenes stuff that like you wouldn't. So you were hired for one of the two roles. I was hired for front of house. And
Now, does that include drive-through? Is drive-through in
Yes.
front? So you're like, oh, today I want drive-through. This is great.
it depended. Some of the managers were cool. They'd be like, "What do you want to work today?" and give you your choice. And then other managers were just, you'd come in, they already have it set up, and you would just go work where they needed you.
And it seems like Chick-fil-A has a lot of people working. I know they're busy. Chick-fil-A is busy all the time. But you go in there and there's 47 people working at the same time.
Well, the
no
job-
lie. Like there's 16 behind the counter. Then you go to McDonald's, there's 2. It takes you 47 minutes to get a double cheeseburger.
Everything that you have at Chick-fil-A is timed. I mean, from the second that the car pulls into the drive-thru to the second that the food is in their hand, there is a time frame that everything should be done. And the jobs are separated as in like there's one person that just makes like soft drinks, like fountain drinks for the drive-thru. There is one person who just makes like milkshakes and grabs like bottles of water or something else. There is one person that just puts the sauces in the bag. Like it is like so systematic.
So just how you have like a fry cook, a prep cook, a grill, you literally have a soft drink. You're the napkin duties. You're the bottled water. You're taking orders. You're getting the fries. Like that's why there's 47 people working back there.
Yes, but it works very well.
I mean, I never wait. I mean, I pull into a Chick-fil-A line and it'll be wrapped around. I'm like, it's okay. You pull into McDonald's, there's 4 people. You're like, oh, that's going to take 34 minutes. It's crazy how the difference is. And it's funny to me, though, how the other fast food chains have not adapted to somewhat of what they do. I mean, I've literally seen Chick-fil-A. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it. You've seen it. It's wrapped around. It comes down the 2 lanes, down the street and around the corner. And I'm not even one bit worried. I'm like, it's okay. It's going to take 10 minutes, but I'm okay with that.
Well, they've also done all the stuff now where they have like their online mobile orders where you put it in for the drive-thru and you scan the QR code and then you pull up and your food's already ready. Like you can put in estimated times of arrival to the drive-thru and they handle it all for you. It's like other places don't have that. Like if you place an online order, you still have to go in to pick it up. Like they have like their mobile, it's called mobile through. It's a designated lane for that. So you don't even have to like wait with the other traffic.
I order it, I pay for it online, then I drive through and be like, number 32, they hand me my sandwich. I'm like,
so all you do is pull up, there's a QR code on the app that after you place your order, you scan it. All that does is order you in line with the cars that are also in that lane of drive-thru so that they know who to give you your food to. And it's ready when you pull up.
Now, my question, because I'm sure a lot of the other fast food joints, well, they don't do that because, how expensive payroll is to have someone make the soft drink, make the, put the sauce in the bag.
What do you get paid now? $11, $12 an hour? What were you getting? I mean, I know it's different. How long ago did you work there?
I worked there in 2020, end of 2021 through August of 2022. I worked at 2 different locations just because I moved in the middle.
3 years ago you worked there.
Yes, it was the first place I worked. It was $15 an hour. The second place I worked was $12 an hour. But they're also like all individually owned, like they have their own owner and everything. So it's not even like franchise of like you can transfer them. I had to like completely quit, completely get rehired, and completely get retrained at a different Chick-fil-A just because I moved.
If you got fired from one kid, you get hired at another?
Probably. I don't really think there's any system tracking it.
Now, I'm curious how they figured it out. How did Chick-fil-A figure out how to be able to operate that way with having that much staff, that much payroll? They've obviously figured something out. They figured out
that if you can get it, let's just call it a number one. If you get 400 of those out in an hour compared to 25 of those, and you're always busy, you can afford the staff. I mean, think about it. Let's just say they're doing $10,000 an hour. They can afford to have $700 an hour in staff.
Yeah, they also had like hourly goals, and it was a big sign over the drive-thru. And every time we set a new record, like that staff would get a bonus, and they'd put a new number up there for how many. It was like sales, orders, and cars, because like obviously those are different. Like you might have one car that has 2 orders. You might have one car that does a $200 order. So like they categorized it.
What's the biggest order you've seen by one single car? I'm not talking about the minivan that pulled in with the soccer team.
Probably around $100, $120.
For 4 people.
They ordered it was during the Valentine's sale where they had the tray of breakfast minis. They ordered like 3 of them. They ordered like 1 each, and then they all got
like 30, $40 a piece.
They're like $15 a piece, I think. But then they all got iced coffees, and then they all also got like a yogurt parfait and stuff like that. Like I think they were
$120 through Chick-fil-A.
But then they also do I know that my location, one of their big things was they catered. My first location catered all sorts of stuff. I mean, like from like high school graduation parties to big corporate events, and they would take like 6 of us at a time and prep like 400 sandwiches that were already pre-sold. And all we did was show up and deliver it and like give sauces. And then like the second location that I worked at, a big thing that they did was they were right by an Air Force base, and they did it was like a breakfast item and then like a free drink for any all military members, either in uniform or if they had their ID. And then at dinner, they did like a free dessert item and then like a free entree for all military members. So every day, no matter.
Every day I could come there and get a free entree.
Yep, if you were in your uniform, or you had like your military ID. Military ID. We were right by an Air Force base, so they would
that kept coming in all day.
Yeah, they would come in. They'd get their free dinner and then take dinner home for their wife and kids. So while you're losing, a $4 sale for a sandwich and a $2 sale for a drink, you're still making $40 in sales for their family dinner. And then they would also come in for lunch. You recognize the people who came through. So
I would live there.
Yeah.
Did you ever catch yourself saying "my pleasure" when you were off work?
Yes, I still do it now.
I'm like, hey, thanks for the napkin. My pleasure.
Yeah, 3 years later, I still do it.
Really?
100%.
A lot?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That or have a blessed day was another thing we were supposed to say. I still catch myself doing that. And I know a lot of people.
A blessed day isn't bad, but my pleasure's got to be great.
Hey,
can you pass me a fork? Yeah, here you go. My pleasure.
Oh, you do it all the time. You
just got to chuckle a little bit.
Well, it's just ingrained in you, I think, at that point.
When you say it every minute for the 9 months that I worked there, it's stuck.
Would you say it's a good place to work in your teens?
Yes.
Someone 16, 17, 18, 19, their first job, would you say?
They hired as low as 14 at the ones that both locations that I worked at.
Can you work at 14?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have limited things you can do.
You can't work past
30 minutes with a 12-minute break.
You can't work past 7 p.m. on school nights. And then there was like a total hour limit per week.
Yeah, I think it's like 20 for
that
14.
Sounds right. And you just can't work past 7 p.m. on weekdays.
Do you have some younger ones, 14, 15-year-olds working there?
I not my location, I didn't see any, but I definitely knew people who did. Like there were people who were like now 16, 17.
So great company.
It's a really good company.
Give me that one thing that one thing that just irked you about Chick-fil-A. There's got to be that one thing they did.
The biggest thing that irked me, and this was like kind of a freak situation, and I just don't think that there was just so many factors to it that I don't think that anybody had any control over it. But I worked in West Texas in the hot, sunny, dry heat. 100 and 110 degrees. You're in full length black pants and a red polo shirt. You're outside for hours on time taking orders. And the majority of the time you have time to stop and refill your water, drink water, and kind of get in the shade. They had big fans and everything out. But we got a call. We had headsets to where we could talk because I was working on the window that night. But I had a headset to be able to talk to people further cars back if there was something they couldn't put on an order or something, like just so we could communicate.
Hey, add some Chick-fil-A sauce to order number 75.
Yeah, so just stuff like that we could communicate. And I got a call, and it was like about one of our girls. We're like, hey, she doesn't look all right. She's coming inside. And I'm on the drive-through window. The door that goes out to the drive-through is like right here. It's a big glass door, so I can see the whole drive-through through this door. She kind of looks like she's stumbling, but like not right. She opens the door and hits the ground. I mean, like
smack.
Just hits the ground. And our like team lead and the manager come over, and they're like waving it, realize that she has heat stroke. And so they're getting ice on her. They're trying to calm her down. But then at the end of the day, we had a different manager who like was not very popular among employees. And like everybody kind of like knew it. Like there's just kind of like an accepted fact that we didn't really like her. Came in and was like, the drive-thru still got to run. You still need these cars out in less than 4 minutes. While we had ambulances and like on their gurney coming back behind there to pick this girl up.
She's like, where's my Chick-fil-A with cheese?
Yeah, and then you saw like another customer like at the window was like, why is the drive-thru taking so long? I'm like, you can see the ambulance.
Right.
I'm like, you can see the ambulance. And that was like the one time
Don't they let you wear shorts now? Forgive me if I've driven through there. It's been a couple weeks. Don't they wear shorts now?
I don't know.
That might be a location thing.
Maybe.
My location
So every location is different. So I can have different rules as long as I follow their guidelines?
Pretty much. Like each one has its own owner. And like that owner runs
Yeah, but
everything
that manager, I don't want to defend what she did, but she probably got a bonus. So business has to go on. I get it. She's not being quite inhumane, but you know what? That's $70 out of her pocket if this hour doesn't hit 4-minute cars.
Yeah, like I understood that at the same time, but like my biggest thing was like in that moment, I was like, you have a 15-year-old girl who's passed out on your thing. I would rather have an unhappy customer and to make sure that my friend or my employee is okay rather than at the end of the day, like, and we also had a really good owner and it was all on the cameras. I mean, there were cameras in that whole spot. I mean, they would turn around and be like, hey, sorry, our cars were 6 minutes. Sorry that our drive-through line slowed down. Like, and then
Rachel passed out for 17 minutes.
Yeah. And like, I'm not going to stand over her passed out body to make drinks from like where she passed out. Cause she also, when she fell,
she wanted you to like just step over her and get the root beers.
No, literally the girl who was doing the soft drinks that was right beside me, like in between where she fell, had turned and caught her. And she was like half laying on her back by the wall. Like she had broken her fall. So I didn't have anybody making drinks. And that manager was leaning over the passed out girl's body and the other employee that was holding her, filling up the drinks.
Oh.
Some dedication right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. That was just my
She's like,
biggest
get
thing.
this girl out of here. Who's coming into work?
Yeah.
Call Sarah. Sarah, come in.
Like where's her replacement?
But Chick-fil-A, you would work again there.
100%.
Good company to run.
Really,
good company to work there.
Like one of the things when I graduated high school, my the owner of my location sat me down. He gave me this book. He was like, I swear by this book. It's Chop Wood, Carry Water. He's like, I swear by this book. This book is like, it's taught me my whole life, my whole work ethic and everything. When I graduated high school, he said that he gives it to every senior who graduates high school. If they finish reading the book and write like half a page essay on it, which is nothing.
Page, right? It's like 70 words.
He gave us like a $200 bonus, I think.
That was nice.
Oh, that's
for
awesome.
literally just reading a book that he swore by. And it was a really good book.
Did you learn something from the book?
I did. Did not get my $200 bonus because I moved locations right after that by chance. Like it was, that was like pre-planned out.
I'm going to write a book tonight.
Yeah. I was like, can I do this in 12 hours? And I was like, my whole closet isn't packed yet. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it in 12 hours.
I paid somebody $100 to get you packed up.
There's profit there.
I just stepped right over the girl and refilled the refill.
For that manager to come and start, going over the passed out body and still refill. How good is that bonus? Because that's got to be a hefty bonus.
I bet you like managers are making 6 figures a year.
They all drove very nice vehicles for working managers at fast food. And we tried to figure out, like, at one point we tried to figure out, like, the head general manager who was, like, directly under the owner. At some point, like, I don't know how correct this was because we were a whole bunch of college and high school students gossiping. We think she was making, like, $120K a year. Just from, like, what we had kind of heard and, like, numbers that had been thrown around. I can see that. If
you think about it, let's say they have 10 employees on at one time. How many people do you think you had on during your busy dinner time? 10, 20?
Front of house would probably be 10. Back of house, I'd say 7, and then 2 managers. So
Let's
about
just
20.
Say 20 employees, $10 an hour. You're talking $300 an hour. That's not bad for what Chick-fil-A does.
Yeah.
And I did that at $15 an hour. Some are 12, some are more. So mean, $300 an hour for Chick-fil-A. Now, obviously, there's more expenses than just that, but just your payroll is $300 an hour during the busy times and the slam times. I mean, that's really not bad. I'm sure they do that in the first 7.5 minutes. That's why they want 4-minute cars.
Yeah,
they want 4-minute cars because I would say every car is worth a value to them. Obviously, there's some sort of value per car. Hey, it's $22 per car today, or our average in October is $27 per car. So if it's $27 every 4 minutes, 2 lanes, I mean, you figure you're running $700-800. You're running $700-800 every 5 minutes.
I also heard at one point they were spending $20,000 a month on like the sauces was one of the bills for like. So I don't know like how much they were bringing in and stuff, but that was like their sauce bill was $20,000 a month.
What's your favorite sauce?
The Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah, always
Chick-fil-A
the Chick-fil-A
first,
sauce.
and then dip it in a little bit of ranch on top of that is like my go-to.
Right.
Anybody ever want anything weird?
Oh yeah,
Like ice cream with French fries in it or something, or
the weirdest
Chick-fil-A sandwich with a scoop of ice cream on top.
The weirdest order I ever got was for Dos Equis at Chick-fil-A. And I was like, we don't serve alcohol here. Like this is a fast food restaurant. And he goes, okay, well, can I have a burger? And I'm like, sir, this is Chick-fil-A. And he's like, so then what do you serve? And I was like, chicken.
Chicken. Eat more chicken.
What kind of chicken do you want? And he's like, so you don't have burgers. And I was like, do you want us? Like, the menu's right behind me. Like
Chicken burger?
I don't know.
Did you say my pleasure to him?
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I said my pleasure to everybody. My favorite thing was when they would really like piss me off and I'd be like, my pleasure. And like give them an attitude. It was my favorite thing. Yeah.
Have you seen the meme where that one guy forgets to say my pleasure? They throw him in the car and they like take away and kill him. So funny. Like, I forgot to say. They threw him in the car. Like, people in black suits throw him in the car. They drive away.
Have you seen the memes that are like when Chick-fil-A can get you your food before you put the order and it's somehow correct? That's one of my favorite ones too.
Dude, Chick-fil-A is always correct.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had anything wrong. If I ask for 3 barbecues, there's 3 in there. Not 2, not 4. There's 3.
Oh, they were very specific.
I tested one time. Like, can I get extra straw? There's an extra straw in there.
They'll also like what was crazy is they would do like they have their app and like they have like really good access to their app. If they would call and be like, hey, like my fry was a medium instead of a large, like people would call it that. Or even my fry was a large, but I'm on a diet. I wanted a medium. They would just like send them like, okay, well, here's $20 to your account. Give us your account number. And they'd send them out and they'd come back in the next day and get something different.
A large fry.
But those were like the kind of complaints that like, I mean, I've never also seen pickier customers at any other place that I've worked than Chick-fil-A. Like
Really?
they're the pickiest customers at Chick-fil-A.
You make them picky.
I think that's the issue. Like at Baskin Robbins, like I worked there when I was 15.
Look at McDonald's and the rest of these places. Like they don't care.
You accept it.
You accept it.
You know that when you go through like McDonald's or Taco Bell.
I'm not going to lie. I rode through McDonald's last night, right? And there was, I pulled it, there's a double window and there was maybe three cars, 2 on one and 2 on the other. So I waited to see which lane. Guys, they're always rude there at most places. Hold on, please. They're, what can I get you? Like never like welcome or anything, which whatever. I mean, you're expecting.
Yeah.
I literally sat there for like 12, 15 minutes and I was probably the 8th car in line. Then I ordered and then to get through and to get it and everything, it's just, we don't care.
Well, it's also like even if you walk in to like McDonald's, you'll stand there for like 5 or 6 minutes before anybody even comes up to take your order.
But my question is, why don't more people adapt to the Chick-fil-A? I'm not saying that McDonald's should say it's my pleasure, but let's look at what a successful chain is doing that has 17 employees on, paying them per hour, and they're being successful. And why McDonald's, I feel, I can't say they're not being successful, but there's just no way.
I also like heard somewhere that I don't know how true the statistic is, but I heard it at both of my Chick-fil-A locations from people. So take it with a grain of salt that it is harder to get a Chick-fil-A franchise license than it is to get hired by Apple or Google.
Huh.
On like a higher level Apple or Google employee. Like
I know what restaurant we're going to try to get now.
Yeah, I mean, they got to be doing something right. I mean, that it's not like they're super expensive. It's not an overly priced fast food. I mean, it's a little, you're going to spend more at Chick-fil-A than you are at McDonald's, but I mean,
I think it's also a better quality too.
It is.
I pay for it though. I pay to get my food out in 3, 4, 5, 7 minutes rather than 37 minutes waiting in line. I pay for it. I know it's good quality. I know it didn't get dropped on the floor.
It's going to get correct. It's going to be correct.
That's going to be correct 99 million times out of 100%.
And I don't have attitude from the employees, which is like.
And she says it's her pleasure. I mean, what a better way to get a chicken sandwich in a fry.
And I mean, I get the timing aspect. When I had my landscaping business, we I had to be done every lawn in 8 minutes. I mean, there were a couple that were obviously, but everything had to be 8 minutes. Or if we went over that, it means I wasn't making the profit margin that I wanted to. I was paying more in fuel. I was paying more in labor. I was paying more in everything by taking longer than 8 minutes at each lawn. So I get that, but there's got to be some, maybe that's one of the reasons that they are so super selective over who's going to be a franchisee, because McDonald's, pretty much anyone with money can open a McDonald's, and you don't even need a lot of money.
No, I think it's like 200,000
Yeah,
or
it's
something,
not a lot.
150,000 and like 300,000 in your bank, and you can open up McDonald's. Like, it's just crazy.
So maybe their business plan and why their franchisees are so successful, it's because they're picky about who they bring on their team. That somebody that probably has to be as goal oriented as they are, and somebody that kind of buys in to where, I don't think the other fast food joints have that buy in, like, that, I don't know, that cult feeling, not cult, but kind of like that.
It's a culture that, even though it's an individual franchise and it's not as corporately ran as a lot of other places, each one has its own culture. Each has its own feeling.
I mean, it's safe to say they're in the top 5 restaurant profit, and they don't open past 10 or 11, and they don't open on Sundays. And these McDonald's are open 24 hours. These Taco Bells are open till 2 a.m. They're doing something right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're obviously doing something right.
Yeah, it was. They also, I know that when I was going through my training, there were a lot of videos that was like the Chick-fil-A reason. And it was like the original Chick-fil-A founder of he wanted good food. He wanted
lived in Edgewater.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. It was like
The Chick-fil-A owner.
I should probably know that.
Like the original one?
Yeah.
Lived in Edgewater?
Yeah.
We used to get a free meal
Really?
if they came in. They'd be like, "Hey, do you know who the Chick-fil-A owner is?" Or they'd ask random Chick-fil-A questions, and if you got it right as an employee on while you were on staff, they'd give you here's a free sandwich. It was a little card, and we could bring it in and get a free sandwich when we were working. They got a loyal customer out of me even while I was working there, which is crazy because I was eating a free meal and probably there 2 more days a week.
Truett Cathy.
Yep, that's right.
Yep. Truett Cathy was the original, and he started in Edgewater.
No shit.
Yep.
So is the Chick-fil-A in Edgewater the original one?
No. I think he was born there and grew up there, but I don't know.
I feel like it started in Texas, but that may be completely made up, and I might be pulling that out of thin air.
I don't know much about the history of Chick-fil-A.
I don't remember much of it either, but the part of our training was the history of the Chick-fil-A brand itself.
That's crazy that they've made such a corporate model out of the way they do things, and still being able to close, and because I think the pay is a little higher
Atlanta.
for Chick-fil-A than
Atlanta Mall.
was the first one.
Yep. I think he was born in Edgewater. He's from Edgewater is what it is. But I don't think his first one was from there. But it says his first one was in Atlanta. Green Barrel Mall. It was in the mall in Atlanta.
That's interesting. That's
So
really
Chick-fil-A
interesting.
started in a mall. That's just wild how far it's come. I mean, how long has Chick-fil-A been around? I mean, I don't remember seeing it till
1967.
Oh God, I didn't know about Chick-fil-A till 10 years ago.
Really?
10 years ago.
Yeah,
They were going to Chick-fil-A in middle school.
I remember going
Elementary
Chick-fil-A in
school.
2nd grade.
Yeah.
yeah. We didn't have
I'm only-
Chick-fil-A in
I'm
the
only
Keys.
25, but
when I
still.
was in high school, we didn't have Chick-fil-A in the Keys.
Well, that might be part of it. You kind of grew up in a bit of an isolated area.
Yeah.
There's not much space for stuff to grow down there.
And then in Jersey, we didn't have. I don't even know if there's Chick-fil-A today in Jersey. Is there?
There's some stuff that's kind
You're
of
missing out.
Yeah,
You
it's
may-
y'all
You may
just
have the Go Birds, but you don't have the Chick-fil-A.
y'all just started to get Wawa. I grew up with some Wawa.
I didn't know Wawa was the thing until I moved to Florida.
We can go into Wawa. Wawa's gone downhill. I'm sorry.
It's really nice
It's
considered
gone
to Texas.
downhill. I go in there and order something now, and it's halftime it comes out.
Y'all
not
have every Florida and Wawa is not real.
We need to go to what?
Go to any other state Wawa except for Florida, and it's going to be a much better experience. I don't know why Florida done fucked up Wawa, and I don't think they're ever going to get it back.
But everything in Florida is a bit different than anywhere else in the U.S.
It really is.
It's kind of its own area. Everything you do
We
here
just
is.
take it and make it different. I'm trying to be politically nice about that too.
Things just kind of shift in Florida. Once you cross state lines, things get a little weird.
You're from Texas,
I am.
so everything bigger and better in Texas.
See, I'm not sure if the saying came first or if it like that fact came first, but I think because of the saying that they try to make that fact absolutely true.
See, I love me some Texas.
Yeah.
Like it's humid as shit, but
Not the part that I'm from.
Barbecue on every corner.
There used to be this like really like it was like Rockin' BBQ or whatever. It was this shack that was like down the street from one of the childhood homes that I grew up in. That like sketchy shack had the best barbecue ever. It was like so like the big grocery store chain in Texas is HEB.
What is it?
HEB. Here everything's better. HEB.
HEB. That's the big grocery store.
That's the big grocery store.
Publix here, basically.
Yeah. Like I had never even heard of a Publix until I moved out of the state of Texas because HEB is the thing there. But the HEB is this massive grocery store. It's like it's its own thing.
Like a Walmart, basically.
Yeah. It was like behind the loading dock of this HEB in like the center of a parking lot, and didn't even have its own parking lot. It had like the section, like a piece of like the HEB parking lot, and it was like the best barbecue. Like, and I would like me and my parents
like
would there like once a
400 people
week.
back there on a Friday eating barbecue behind the HEB. We're going to dinner at HEB.
That about sums up West Texas. Like there's nothing to do.
So what made you move to good old Daytona Beach, Florida from Texas?
Embry-Riddle. Came here for college.
Riddle me that. So you're going to be what, a pilot?
Hopefully one day. I really want to be.
You're already flying now, aren't you?
I mean, I'm just an instrument rated private pilot, but like one day we'll get there.
Do you ever want to go and do a barrel roll?
Can
you do a barrel roll in those planes?
Probably. Would I try it? No. But like, has the intrusive thought come up that I'm like, it'd be really cool if I could like
it's like
Top Gun this plane
It's
every
like
once in a
getting
while.
in a Ferrari and be like, you can only go 40 miles an hour. You're like, dude, this speedometer says 280. I got to try. Like, I got to an airplane. I swear to God, I'd be like, I got to do this. I'm sorry, guys. I love you all. And I'd have to drive with the joystick and be like, we're doing a barrel roll.
My favorite moment in like all of my flight training so far is I got like the new Bose A30 headset, which does like Bluetooth to your phone. So you can listen to music while you're flying, but still like communicate with ATC. And then it like fades out your music when like ATC's talking and stuff. It's amazing. I love this headset.
Can you talk on the phone?
Yeah, you can.
Does it fade the person out talking when
yeah, it's the coolest headset I've ever had in my entire life. But
how much was that?
$1,200. Oh, my whole family went splitsies on it for Christmas. I was like, I don't need anything else. I just want this
Uncle
headset.
Doug, I know you haven't talked to her in 7 years, but we need $200.
That was pretty much what I did. I swindled my whole family into this headset.
Everybody put in $100. All 12 of you, please.
That's pretty much what I did.
That sounds like a badass set.
Yeah, I put everybody into a group chat, and then I sent out. I was like, "This is what I want for Christmas. I don't need anything else." I was like, "If the whole family could just pitch in, this is what I want."
I was like, "Great, she wants some earphones. How much are we in it for? $1,200. I don't like her that much." We are disowning our grandchild.
Pretty much. But I mean, they got it for me. But my favorite moment with that headset is like the first time that I did a cross country with it, I was flying an instrument approach into Daytona. And on the headset was The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived by Taylor Swift while I was shooting an instrument approach in like goggles so I couldn't see anything. I was like, this is the coolest thing that I've ever done in my entire life. I love it so much. And I was like, I'm gonna do this forever.
What's your go-to song when you get in the plane? We got like, We're Not Gonna Take It. We got like 2 Chainz. What do we got going on when you're flying?
2 Chainz.
I normally start off with the
Tell
Top
me
Gun.
not some Bieber or some freaking Shania Twain. Tell me what we got going on when we're flying.
It's typically, I start with like the Top Gun song from Maverick because you have to. Because like, I can't not.
She's back there, Goose. You got me. We're going down.
Pretty much. Like, and what's funny to me is like, if I'm like doing.
You got Highway to the Danger Zone. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah.
That's what you play when you take off?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I have to. I can't not. But then other than that, I did a cross country.
I pegged her for like, I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world, and she's taking off in a plane.
She's a straight fighter pilot.
Straight
Let's
fighter
go.
pilot. And you've never done a barrel roll. This is bullshit. You cannot play Maverick and not do a barrel roll.
It's an intrusive thought, but like I like my pilot's license for now. Maybe like
would they know if you did a barrel roll?
Yeah.
Like, could they see? I mean, they can't see the plane. Can we fly and go do a barrel roll? I'm in it. Let's do it.
Wait, could they tell like on radar?
Could they tell that you're? Did you just do a barrel roll?
I don't know if the planes that I fly that are like student planes. Like, I mean, I don't think they're structurally sound for that. Like, they also like there's so much to it. I don't think that they could, but like there at some point in my life I will be doing a barrel roll, and then I want to do the I want to like backseat an Air Force Thunderbirds pilot where they do the spirals, the vertical spirals where they climb from like 5 to 15,000 feet. That's what I want to do.
I like when they come next to you and they go out to like literally sideways and they're 90 miles the other direction sideways. I want to do a barrel roll. I want to play Top Gun to do a barrel roll. If I'm going out, that's the way I'm going out.
When your time comes, that's how you're
With
doing it.
$1,200 earphones, a barrel roll, listen to Top Gun. I'm in. Highway to the danger zone.
My favorite moment so far is I did a cross country from here to Jacksonville. So it was about
Wait. How do you call it cross country when it's an hour north? I love you. I'm not trying to be mean when I say this.
That's the FAA definition.
Hey, listen, you want to drive cross country? We're going to New Smyrna. Joe, when we're done here, we're going to drive cross country to New Smyrna, okay?
That's the FAA definition.
You cannot call it cross country. FAA needs to change the damn rules. Cross country to
You're
Jacksonville.
talking to the wrong
Well, I'm calling Embry-Riddle tomorrow. I'll be like, yo, bro, you cannot call it cross country when it is 1 hour drive time and 32 minutes in that little plane with one engine.
That's the FAA definition.
Do you not feel a little weird saying I'm flying cross country?
No,
Really? Where you going? New Orleans? No, I'm going to Jacksonville.
It's the same thing. I run cross country for Riddle. I don't run cross country. I run 3.12 miles. But we're over here calling that cross country too.
She makes a valid point.
That is a valid point.
Cross country running makes no sense.
I still like my fight better though. Yeah, flying cross country is New Smyrna.
Technically, cross country is any flight that you touch down over 50 nautical miles from your starting point.
50.
50.
So if I flew from here to New Smyrna, I'm not going cross country.
No.
What do you call that? In country?
A flight. That you wouldn't even end your any radar service. You would literally just say,
I'm taking off, requesting to take off. 4 seconds later, requesting to land.
Right? Just requesting VFR departure to New Smyrna, and they're just going to have you take out in the Daytona airspace, and then they're going to be like, do you have the ATIS, which is just the weather, essentially, in New Smyrna? And be like, yes. And they're like, all right, contact their tower. And then you contact their tower, and they'll be like, all right, enter how they want you to enter.
Can you contact the tower? When can you contact the tower? Anytime?
It depends. So a lot of times, if you're getting VFR flight following, which is essentially radar services for traffic avoidance, they'll tell you when to switch controllers, what frequency and stuff.
If I take off from say Daytona and let's say I'm going to Miami, when do I let Daytona go and I pick up Miami?
What you would do is you would request VFR flight following, or you would have a flight plan. And in that flight plan, you would look at the airspace. You would look at the lines of the airspace.
So a big circle that says when I get to about Melbourne, I need to leave this one and go to this one?
Kind of, yes. But if you do VFR flight following, which is how most people do it, they're going to tell you when to switch off and what frequency to. And they essentially bounce you from controller to controller until you get to where you're going to land. So
you might go from Daytona and then you're on Melbourne.
You'd go Daytona and then you'd be on Orlando departure. And then you'd probably go to a different departure. And then they'd probably hand you off to the Miami arrival. And then they would kind of hand you off until you're there, until you're about the airspace that you'd be at.
So you're just communicating with different towers as you're driving.
100%.
As you're driving by, flying by, actually.
You're never not talking to somebody.
When you're going cross country.
You're never not talking to somebody.
I feel like this would be a little harder drunk.
That's why they don't. That's why they don't do it.
But I watched that movie with Denzel, and ever since he was a drunk pilot the whole time, and I was like, man, it sounds fun. I want to get drunk and fly.
Now, I don't know about that plane. Nowadays, you can just autopilot, it takes off, and it lands on its own, right?
So it depends on the type of autopilot. There's different levels of it. The autopilot in our plans, no, you'd be screwed. It would run out of fuel and drive itself into the ground before it landed itself.
You never want to just get drunk and fly the plane?
No.
Drinking?
I've never had
that.
No,
you don't
really.
Listen, you know what's funny? I want to do a barrel roll, even though I know it's not going to happen.
I want to do it too.
If I do a barrel roll on those little 2-seater planes, the little drug traffic planes, when you go, it ain't going to make it all the way around.
I'm never flying with you.
You think it's going to make it?
No.
That's what I'm saying. I would really want to say joystick. Does it have a joystick on either side?
Yes.
So if we fly together, I have a joystick.
Yes.
And I can control the plane too.
Yes.
We're going flying.
So
I'm in.
Are you telling me you've never gotten drunk on a plane and sat there and been like, man, I hope something happens, and they're like, you're the guy that has to get us home?
No, never.
Oh, man.
No.
I've never once had the urge. No. As somebody who's a private pilot who flies airlines regularly, even if they're like, hey, we need in the crazy occasion that they're like, hey, we need somebody to fly the plane, I wouldn't raise my hand. I would be I'm ready to go.
If you're flight 448 leaving Orlando, heading to Texas on American Airlines, and they say, pilot got sick, this and this, we need a pilot, you wouldn't jump in. Heck, I'd even jump in. I'm like, I got this.
I'd lie. I'm a pilot.
I'm like, listen, you know how many Embry-Riddle fraternity parties I've done? I'm good. I'm good to do this. Let's try this. I got this.
I got Flight Simulator on my Xbox for 2 years. I can land this plane.
I would love to open the door. Hey, what does LP mean? It's a button. All right, thanks, man. It'd be so funny. I'd get on the little microphone thing.
Did you guys ever watch the movie Airplane?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's stupid. It's this most stupid movie, but it's about this like essentially all the pilots get food poisoning, and it's this guy who used to be a pilot, but like I don't remember like what happens, but something happens. He's no longer a pilot, like an active pilot, but like he's still flying a plane, and they have to have him like land this airliner because of like there's like food poisoning. It's a comedy movie. Like there's a whole bunch of like funny stuff going on in this movie. But their autopilot is a blow-up pilot, and it's essentially one of those blow-up like a blow-up like those like sex dolls, like you know that you see the ones that you see in movies, like the really cheesy ones you see in movies, and they blow him up, and it's the autopilot is this like giant blow-up doll, and he's flying this plane along this like giant blow-up doll because like the pilot's passed out and everything. So like that's what I would imagine what would happen if I ever had to like land an airliner.
You think you could land one?
Those can land itself, so I would be Colin Tower having like a meltdown?
No, you could do it. I'd thrive in something like that. I would take it. Even though
I'd be excited.
I would be excited.
I believe that every man believes.
I would put on the earphones and be like, "Are these the $1,200 Bluetooth ones? Because I ain't flying nothing if these ain't the $1,200 Bluetooth. I need to listen to some Shania Twain as I'm landing, or I can't do this."
My favorite thing to listen to when I'm flying is I play the Eras Tour set list, and I have it memorized in order, like the Taylor Swift Eras Tour. I have the set list memorized in order, so then I can sit there and I'm like, okay, well, I'm on this song. I know that I'm about 40 minutes into my flight.
So you know your flight by
Taylor Swift songs.
Yes.
Tay saving the world.
Next time I fly American Airlines, I'm like, "Hey, what song are you on?" We're 42 minutes in. I know.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, so let's see. We're out of the Lover era. We're in Fearless. Okay, so we're probably just about out of the Daytona airspace. That's not how I normally do it, but I just know. It's like subconscious, I know.
Huh. I want to be a pilot now.
I'm sure you do.
I want to roll a plane.
You just roll it.
Not drunk like you. I just want to roll it. I just want to barrel roll one time.
I'm sure you can get like there's got to be somewhere where you can like pay to like rent a plane with a pilot who does aerobatics.
Oh, I want to do it. I don't want to pay somebody to do it.
I want it to be a little dangerous.
This may or may not work.
What?
Yeah.
This may be the last face you see.
Like I need the fear of death to be there.
Oh, so that you can make sure it works.
Well, just, it just wouldn't be the same if I know I got a backup plan. Like if there's a pilot in the plane with me, like if things go bad, I'll protect you. That's not as fun.
Oh, so it's got to be life or death for you.
Yeah, and I want a whole passenger full of plane people too.
I think you might just be homicidal.
No, I just I think it would be awesome to save the day.
Just hero mentality.
Yeah.
Now, how many times did you fly with an instructor before you flew by yourself?
I think I had about 30 hours. So I don't know how many flights that was, but it was about, I think it was 60 landings with an instructor before I soloed for the first time.
And now you're solo by yourself. So you could go right now, grab a plane from there and go fly.
Yes.
Cross country, AKA Jacksonville.
Yes.
Love that.
I could take a plane anywhere I wanted to.
Now, how much does it take? If you take a plane, how much does it cost?
There's so many factors to it. It really depends. It depends on the type of plane, depends on the cost of fuel, depends on where you're renting from, what condition, if you're renting wet or dry, which just means if you're renting with fuel or renting without fuel.
I was going to say, I'd like a dry plane, please. Do not want a wet plane. Might have some up there.
Wet plane's a little bit better because it's
so
easier
let's
to
say you and I
estimate.
drove right now, got in a plane, took it to Miami. We're going to be in Miami in an hour.
It'd probably be.
Give me a roundabout. We're talking $1,500, $2,000.
It'd probably be $1,000 there and probably about $1,000 back.
With gas and everything.
Yeah.
And that's you flying it.
Yep.
And me doing barrel rolls.
Well, that would make it a little bit more expensive.
Yeah,
We use
probably
gas.
fuel.
So we could leave right now for $2,000 and get to Miami and back.
Yeah, probably.
Seems like a lot. I mean, obviously it's expensive to fly and
Yeah.
fuel and all that, but I feel like, man, like if I'm going to be a pilot and I'm going to have a plane, I'm going to want to go places cheaper.
Yeah, it's
but
probably going to be about a 2.5 hour flight. And then you have to consider it's about 30 minutes
Wait,
from when you
2.5 hours to Miami flight?
Little plane.
in a little plane.
I could drive there in about 3. About 100 miles an hour.
A little plane only goes about 90 to 100 knots.
Yeah, they don't
cruising.
go much faster.
The only thing that you're getting
So
faster
2.5
is no
hours.
traffic.
So if you went and got a plane, I got in my car and we both got to Miami, I'm only going to be in Miami maybe a half hour after you.
Yep.
So picture taking off and landing too. It might be around the same time.
Yeah, let's just say you dropped me off at the airport and then I had to walk and pre-flight my plane. To pre-flight my plane, make sure that I had fuel, I'll do my run up, get completely ready to fly, and then land and then do my post flight and secure my aircraft. We would be at the gate at the same time if you came to pick me up in Miami.
Just seems like a waste of money at that point.
When do you get in the bigger planes? I mean, because most people I would say don't want to fly little planes all the time. It's a good graduation. I get you don't go out and rent a Lamborghini to learn to drive on. You drive in the Honda, and then you take your step up. When do you get into the Boeings and the bigger planes that you can drive that you can really barrel roll?
It really depends on like the career and like what direction you're going. So personally, for me right now, I'm working on my commercial license, which means it's just single engine. You can do it multi-engine. I'm doing my single engine. That just happens to be the course that I'm in. And then from there, I'll get my multi-engine rating, which then allows me to fly planes with 2 engines. But there's a lot of like stipulations. So you have like complex aircraft, high performance, tail wheel, ones that you require a type rating for, which just get into all the specifics of the aircraft. So if you wanted to do training in a different aircraft, you'd have to get the endorsement associated with that aircraft. And then if the aircraft requires a type rating, that's essentially like a whole course and like check ride to be able to fly that specific aircraft. So if I wanted to right now, I could go get a type rating for any single engine plane that needed one theoretically, but I wouldn't, like most people follow a career and find an employer who pays for that for them.
Yeah, I would. Mm-hmm. Especially Embry-Riddle's not cheap.
So no. What's your goal? Fly American Airlines?
What the airlines? Major airlines eventually.
Is Sprint considered a major airline?
Spirit.
Is it Spirit or Sprint?
Spirit. Sprint's the phones.
What's the green one?
Frontier.
Yes. Yeah. That was even worse. You can fly cross country. No, really, you can fly to Chicago for like $42.
Would you rather fly Spirit than Frontier? I don't know. I think I'd rather go Frontier. I mean, they're both not good.
They're both so sketchy.
Spirit is literally like I am too tall for Spirit Airlines. I have to get the big front seat because yeah,
but then you pay $42.
I had a last.
Funny, it's $60 round trip to go to Chicago, and then your bag is $42 each way. Your seat's $37 each way. So really, you should just bought the American Airlines for $212 round trip.
What happened when
I don't fly with a bag.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. Remember that one?
Yeah.
And I'm the one with 6 suitcases for a weekend trip.
Oh, she's a woman.
I am.
Pretty much.
7 pairs of jeans for 2 days. 14 pairs of shoes. Joe's got the same shirt on for 3 days in a row.
That's how I pack. That's
you have like a book bag and you're good. I could never. Like those people like, I'm going to go book bagging in Europe with book bag for a month. What, the same bag?
You're like, I need 4 suitcases to leave for the weekend.
I'd have the African tribe pulling us the whole thing behind us. A brocade of thing. Not because I just like the options. You know, like, what if this shirt goes better with these shoes when I'm going out in the forest, you know?
I like
I'm going to do a bear roll and go down. I want my good shoes on. Does that make sense?
Because the bears care.
I am very big on traveling in comfort.
100%.
I need to travel in comfort. I have traveled way too long in uncomfortable. I
just buy clothes that look nice that are comfortable. Like if it's not comfortable, I won't buy it. So like I have like collared shirts and stuff that like if I need to like to wear nice while I'm traveling, especially because like I'm an athlete, so we'll do like 12 hours on the bus. They're like dress pants that look nice.
Fly cross country and you run cross country.
I do. Both of them.
3 miles and 30 miles.
Exactly. There's such a difference there. Yeah. That are like comfy pants that look nice, but they're literally, they feel like pajamas.
Now you fly whatever you want, right? You can wear whatever you want when you fly. Mm-hmm. They don't.
Like flight training, I have like a uniform for, but like if I was just going to rent a plane, the only thing that I make sure that I have is like closed-toed shoes and long pants, just in case anything were to happen.
Why the shoes?
Closed-toed shoes. So in the plane that I'm in, you have rudder pedals that you touch with your feet. I don't want my shoes falling off. And then if I had to evacuate a plane, I want to be able to get off of it quickly and then protect my toes.
That makes sense. Yeah, all right, yeah. I probably shouldn't wear sandals if I fly a plane.
Yeah, like, I mean, if I was just like a passenger in a little plane,
especially if you're drunk, Joe. No drunk sandal driving.
You just sound like a hazard to have on a plane. Yeah. Like, the more that I think about this, like, if I'm like in the majors one day and I turn around and I see you boarding the plane, I'm going home for the day. I'm going home for the day.
Imagine you get on American Airlines and she's like, well, oh, hell no. I'm done.
I would cancel the whole flight.
I'm done. He's drunk.
I'm canceling the whole flight.
Thank you, passengers, for flying 475. We're going to have to cancel our flight today due to Joe.
This 17A, I'm not doing it. Right. Call corporate and go home.
Air marshals to 17A, please. Air marshals to 17A.
Call this. Can we have a 17A removed, please?
Oh, God. We had not the last plane I was on, but not too long ago, a couple of years ago, the flight attendant was so angry with us.
I wonder why.
Look,
I have no idea what you're about to say, but I can already tell you it's going to be good.
It's valid.
it wasn't that bad.
Oh my God. Would you ask her to join the Mile High Club?
No. See, I'm not crude like that when I would drink. I'm still
Would you ask her
nice.
for a ginger ale
I'm
and
just
some freaking peanuts?
A little louder, and I make friends. And there was these three attractive girls sitting like 3 rows up, and then I was here.
What are you shouting over the
Hey, get those
seats?
3 ladies of Seagrams on me.
I was drinking. I was like, "Hey, guys, want to do a shot?" And they were like, "Yeah." I was like, "Hey, round it up." And
Joe made friends. No one else did.
Right. So
Yeah.
Joe's on a plane trying to hit on 3 girls and buying
They were
shots.
probably just trying to get away and were uncomfortable, but you had enough alcohol in your system you couldn't realize it.
no, we
There
had
you
a
go. Where's the best
blast.
place to pick up a girl? On a plane. She can't leave.
The people in the row next to me got so pissed off. They were tired of dealing with us. So the girls switched with them. And then we only upset the people behind us and the people in front of us. We were real loud and we were like cheersing the plastic shot glasses.
I think I
and-
understand why the flight attendants might have been a little bit,
Yeah.
a little upset.
You know that for them being mad is valid, right?
Yeah.
I
no,
think I
get
might
it.
take their side on this one.
I'm in with you. I'll do it
Oh,
with
no,
you.
I take their side too. I get it. It was just a really fun time. We were taking pictures when we got off the plane. It was a great time.
I used to fly a lot when I was little. You know, I missed the pilots giving you those little wings.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
When they
yeah.
give you the
And
wings.
they let you see, like, I got to sit in the actual chairs, but now after 9/11,
9/11.
yeah, they kind of changed that
I used
one.
to. I mean, I remember because me and my brother used to fly alone a lot. My parents were divorced, so they would fly us. One would be there. And remember, you could walk all the way to the gate.
Yep.
So my mom would walk all the way to the gate. I would be like 10. My brother would be like 6, and they put us on the plane. And then we got off the plane. My dad was right there, so literally nothing can happen to us. We're on a plane unless the plane goes missing. We're pretty much mom to dad right there because you could go all the way to the gate back then. And I remember the pilot used to give us those little wings. They let you sit in the captain, the chairs, and all that stuff. And now they're like, I want to go in now and do it. I'll be like, how many times do you barrel roll?
I do. I like to go.
Where's
in.
the on button?
Where is the on button? Is that the autopilot that says autopilot?
Does this
it
make
actually-
the plane go backwards?
does it
This is
actually-
to the runway? This
Does
is
it
this
actually
one.
say autopilot?
It says AP. I'm sure different aircrafts are set up differently. Like your cockpit and like your control panels and everything look differently. Ours just say AP for autopilot.
Now, is most, I can't say everybody, but most people want to be airline pilots, obviously. Or not everybody, but they go there.
The majority.
Is private airlines not a thing? I think if I wanted to be a pilot, I want to be a private because you're kind of at their beck and call-ish.
So a private pilot by definition is just somebody who can pretty much fly a plane by themselves. A private pilot you can't fly for compensation or hire, and there's a whole bunch of stipulations on even
Wait. I mean, you can't compensation or hire.
like you can't get paid to fly a plane, and somebody can't be like, hey, this is my plane. If you fly it, like you can have the flight hours, but it won't cost you anything.
No,
Like,
but
you can't do that.
These wealthy people hire their own pilots.
They're still commercial pilots.
right.
But they're flying a different. They're flying like 135/91, not 121. 121 is like your airline regulations. 135 and 91 are like a little bit looser. Those are gonna be like your cargo airlines, your private jets.
Because you don't really, you have people's lives at stake, but you don't have hundreds of people's lives at stake.
So your airline transport pilot license, your ATP, is like its whole own set of training that you would have to work
Is it
121.
separate to work? So if you have to get another license to fly private?
No, you can use your commercial license, but you would have to have a type rating. And a lot of those are like, a lot of that hiring is like an inside gig of like, hey, I know so-and-so who works here, who like got me in, or like I talked to so-and-so at like a networking event and they liked me. Like it's less of a direct hiring than
I
the
think I'd rather
airlines.
fly private. I'd rather get that call like, hey, we're leaving tomorrow for Bora Bora. Okay. I'll be there. I'll fly to Bora Bora, be there for 5, 6, 7, 8 days, 10 days, whatever it is, and drive back.
Yeah, I think I would
Off for
just,
2 weeks, like, or, whatever. Like,
yeah, they normally have like 14 days on, like 7 days
I
off,
feel like
some
flying
kind of
for
rotation like
JetBlue
that.
would just be boring. I'm sorry. I just think it'd be boring.
Well, you're just kind of going to the same
Go to
airport.
the same
A lot of
airport,
the
same thing,
airports.
same this. Is there really one of those like lofty things in most jets?
It depends on the type of plane.
I heard a lot of crazy things happen up there with pilots.
It depends on the type of plane. But I've heard. But also, like
Heard
crash pads and like flight crews when they stay somewhere are also like crazy stories.
Well, yeah, if you watch the Denzel movie, they're all drunk having a good time.
Is that why you want to be drunk and fly a plane?
It looks
He just wants to be Denzel.
What do you want next? Snakes on a plane too?
I'd be all right being Denzel.
What do you want next? Snakes on a plane too?
Oh, I don't fuck with snakes. Not a snake guy.
Me neither.
I like lizards.
I don't even like those. I don't like nothing
No.
that scales. I want fur and feathers.
All right.
Fur and feathers are my requirement.
You do have a little dog, don't you?
I have 2 kitties.
Oh.
I also have, I have a dog, but like it's technically my mom's dog, but it is my dog right now. I'm just in college, so I can't take care of it. But she's a Dalmatian. Her name's Athena. She's the cutest thing.
It's your dog, but her dog, but your dog, but her dog.
It's my dog. Athena is my dog, but she lives with my mom because I'm in college and I just don't have time for a dog.
Makes sense.
So like she's my dog, but like she lives with my mom, so she's my mom's dog, but she's my dog.
You share custody of the dog.
Yeah.
With your family. Who bought you $1,200 earphones?
My whole family.
Whole family.
They was all split.
It was one Christmas gift. All the presents around tree and your one gift that was my yay big in a box.
Yeah.
You were so happy about that.
Yes. I was
that's all I want.
Stoked. I had my headset. I was like, all right, when can I fly? I was like, I want to try this out.
So they're made for airline pilots, basically. It's what you don't buy them to go running or buy them you buy them for that reason.
No, it's a flight headset. Like you could use it for anything else.
You're not running with those on or anything.
Oh, absolutely. No, they're noise canceling. They're big and bulky. They have like your microphone that comes in front of your mouth.
You're running down the street. I'll be right there in 24 minutes.
Yeah, with the cords dangling
Right.
behind you. Yeah, no.
Just about to cross
But that's
country.
a good. I mean, $1,200 isn't bad for a good investment like that.
It's really
those
not.
You'll have for 10 years.
And a lot of
Can
people.
you use those on if you got a job with like American Airlines? Would you use the same things?
Yes, I could. Most of them just have handheld mics now, so I wouldn't even have to.
You can't listen to Bieber while you're flying a plane with a regular mic though.
That's why I would have the headset. Listen, it's not Bieber, it's Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, sorry. T Swift.
T Swift.
Have you seen any of the like the reels on Facebook, Instagram, where it's the tower and the pilot kind of going back and forth? Like some of them are hilarious, but I think they're almost like faked.
I think that some of them are definitely faked, but I also have like heard some really funny stuff like between ATC, like on my own thing. Like, and then this is a weird, like kind of niche pilot thing is to like meow on the radio. It's just like we have like our north practice area frequency. And if you're on that frequency here, which is just, it's like, it's north of Daytona and like everything east of Flagler into like Jacksonville is essentially like our north practice area. It has its own frequency. So you're not contacting any tower, but you can still hear all the traffic around you, like people making position reports, things like that. When you're in that like practice area, people just be like, meow, like all the time, just randomly on them. And then we have like, there's like monitoring frequencies that like you would switch to in case of an emergency. And every once in a while, if you just monitor it, you'll just hear meow. Like people just like meowing on the on the radio headsets. Now that's definitely a thing. Like you're just sitting there like, I took my mom flying one time. She's like, is that a cat? I was like, no, that's just a pilot. just having a good time.
I think I would fuck with people so bad.
Yeah.
That I would do.
I think it would be fun. You almost have to.
Requesting a flyby. Can you request a flyby? Remember Top Gun?
Oh, Top Gun.
Have you ever done a flyby over here?
I've never done a flyby here, but what I have requested is like a low pass over like the big Titusville runway that they used to land the space shuttle. The tower was active and I was like, can I just have a low pass over the runway? And they said, yeah. So I just got to fly. I didn't get to touch down or land, but I got to like
Just kind
fly.
of went down.
Oh,
And
that's
It was pretty cool.
What was the point? Just to
see. I just wanted to see see it.
And you just requested to give a low flyby.
Yeah, there was nobody in the airspace.
And they're like, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
You have to ask for a barrel roll. Would I have to request a barrel roll?
I don't.
Tower requesting barrel roll. That's a negative. I didn't hear you anyway.
I don't think so. Maybe. I think it would depend on I don't think it would depend if you were in an airspace and then if you were in the north practice area, I don't think you'd have to request it. But at the same time, there's also special there's special permits for aerobatic and special use aircraft and stuff. So I don't know if your airplane would have to have one of those. So then the FAA would know if you registered your plane to do that. They would know if that tail number's up was doing it because they would know.
Flight 227, just barrel roll. No, sir. That's a negative. You're upside down. That's a negative. No, sir.
Not upside down.
By the way, how do I flip this thing back around?
You're like, no.
I'm upside down right now, and I'm not really sure. Do I go left or do I go right? Now, is that your left or my right?
Do you guys have the My Radar app? I
Yes.
use it a lot for hurricanes, but you can do the flight restrictions. I love tracking where the president is
Oh, it's so funny.
because
No, I don't care.
it shows you all the it shows because it's restricted
You think it
airspace, so
shows-
you can see all the restricted airspace.
That's not his plane.
Oh no, when he's there,
It doesn't
that's
matter.
restricted.
It doesn't matter where he is. There's a TFR, a temporary flight restriction that follows him around wherever he is
Yeah.
in the U.S.
There's no way.
Yes.
That means anybody can know where a president is at any time.
They know a broad
There's no
area
way.
of
It is
where he
a-
is.
way. No,
It is 25 miles. It's a 25-mile
I'm going to
radius.
fight each one of you on that. There is
Yeah.
no way.
100%.
You can say that's what it is, but I'm
Look
telling
at
you,
presidential TFR.
it doesn't matter. That's what you think. That's what it wants you to think. It wants you to think he's golfing in Miami. That guy's making a deal in China. No, there's no way. I'm sorry. I don't believe that. There is no way that we would allow an app to tell us where our president of the United States is in a 25-mile radius.
You have to flight restrictions. You're
they
not
don't
allowed
want you
to fly
flying over
around
and like
him.
bombing him or anything. That's why they have it. Like,
so
they don't,
it's flight restrictions. Planes aren't
You said
allowed
exactly
in this area.
where he is.
It's
No, it
within
doesn't
25
say-
miles.
it doesn't
It's
say
where
like
the
he's
plane
right.
is.
No, it is where he is.
It's where he is.
It follows him around.
Yeah.
There's no. It's vertical to 6,000 feet unless you're on IFR plan and you have been cleared
So
through that
nobody-
airspace.
That's where he is right now. Oh, yeah, hit done.
So nobody can be in that airspace right now.
No one.
No one.
No
They
one
don't
can
want
fly
any
there.
accidents.
Land,
They don't want
I
any.
can't nothing.
You can't nothing.
Now let me ask you a question. My plane's going down. I got a choice. Do I land?
Well, you have.
If he's there and my jet goes out, I got to land
One
right
of
here
the-
in Dale. I'm gonna land in Dale City or I'm gonna die. You gonna let me land?
In the case of emergency, you can break. It's the regulation is in the case of emergency,
But
you
you're
can break
probably-
any regulation that you need to in order to get your airplane safely on the ground. You then have to file a report though and justify
and you
your
probably have
reasoning.
two F-14s.
Oh, yeah. The F-14 is definitely going to
Yeah.
be right there with you.
So if he's there, what if there's a major airport?
If you're an IFR, if you're IFR and you have filed a flight plan and been cleared through the airspace, they know exactly what you're doing. They know the time that you're entering. They know exactly what flight path. If you deviate from that, then they're going to know.
But if you're telling me other planes can land in there right now.
With an IFR clearance, meaning that their exact flight plan has been laid out and cleared by ATC through
Makes
that
sense.
airspace.
But I'm saying if he's in Washington and there's hundreds of planes landing in Washington Airport.
Washington is actually there's a special, it's called a CIFRA. It's a special use airspace or special flight rules airspace around that area. There's a special training and certification that you have to have. There's certain VFR entry and exit points. There's a whole bunch of rules. That's why it's called a CIFRA around that area that you have to have training in to be able to fly in that area.
So his plane is at Ronald Reagan National Airport right now.
Probably. Yeah, when he's in South Florida, it shows up in South Florida wherever he goes. It's cool. I track him all the time.
I still don't believe it.
It even some of his rallies,
still-
if they were big enough during his campaign, would follow him. Like the Daytona 500 when he was here, TFR over Daytona.
Yep.
Well, there's a TFR over Daytona for the Daytona 500 anyway because it's
Yeah.
so highly
I have
populated.
to
And
have
then
a plan-
Disney always has
Disney
one too.
always has
I have
one.
if I have a plan to fly to Ronald Reagan, I can. Right?
Yes,
Is
if
what
you
you're
have
saying.
filed a plan and gotten a clearance from ATC.
So American Airlines is flying planes in and out of there all day right now.
Yes.
Even though his plane is there and he's supposedly around
Yes.
that 50-mile radius, planes are flying in and out there, but they have to put not anything outside of the
yeah,
flight plans.
they're not just flying a plane looking around. Like they're filed a flight plan. They've been cleared.
But if you were flying, let's say you were planning to stay out of that, but then your plane's, something happens and you need to land, you would request to land in that area.
You
Probably be escorted to the airport and debriefed and everything else on why.
pretty much.
And your engine went down and all this stuff. You didn't have a choice. You're either
Yeah.
going to go down and die or you're going to land at this airport. They would obviously let you.
Yes, they're going to let you. But like one of the things that you say, like we have certain like transponder codes that you can put in for different emergencies. That just tell ATC different. Like if you've lost your comms, if it's like if it's a hijacking, like you have different codes like we like kind of like memorize that you can put into your transponder that will tell ATC what's going on with a rough guesstimate. But then you can also tell like if I had like an engine failure, I would be like saying my call sign like Riddle 555 or Blue Phoenix
Do you
295.
You get a
no
different
engine.
name? You get a different name every time you fly?
Well, it's assigned to that aircraft. Like it's not mine. It's assigned to the aircraft.
So like you don't have Maverick on your helmet?
No, I wish I did. That'd be really
Goose?
cool.
You could.
I could see you with Maverick.
Mine would be Alien.
Alien?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, it's a long story, but like my nickname for my big and my sorority is Seagrave Alien, so mine would be Alien.
Alien. Kind of like Maverick. I don't know about Alien.
No, I'm not a fight. I'm a bit more goofy. I don't know if I'm serious enough to be a fighter pilot. I'd be cracking jokes if I was ever like flying an F-18. They'd be like, "Hey, you're about to like try and end a war," and I'd be like, like flying through.
I'd have Bombs Over Baghdad playing. Bombs Over Baghdad.
I'd be like singing along
fun.
to T Swift with my fully loaded with a whole bunch of like Hellfire missiles. I'd be like singing along as I'm going. I could never be a fighter pilot. I'm not serious enough for that.
We are getting to the end of this episode, and being in the service industry or even in the pilot, I would love to hear we do Come On Karen, which
Come on, Karen.
which is it upset people like to tend to tell how upset they are to everyone. What's one of the biggest Karens you've ever met? Like what's one of the biggest things, the most ludicrous that's
There's
happened to
been
you?
so many.
Karen at the airport.
The biggest one that I can ever think of, this happened when I was working at Chick-fil-A, is she came through and asked for ice cream. And like I said, as we discussed earlier, every Chick-fil-A is like individually owned. So there's some things that like shift and change that not all Chick-fil-A's do. She came through and asked for a quart of ice cream. We had never sold a quart of ice cream ever. Like I had never even heard of that. So I call my manager and she's like on the headset. She's like, we don't do that. And she's like, well, the Chick-fil-A across town does. That was a different owner, whole different Chick-fil-A. I don't know what they do. This is not on our menu. I have no way to charge it. I have no way to package it. I have no way to do anything for this quart of ice cream. And we're like, well, we have 2 cups of ice cream. Like we could give you like 2 cups of ice cream, but like it's our soft serve ice cream. It's not a quart of ice cream. And she was like, well, this other Chick-fil-A is like, I don't have to tell you. Like we don't, like I have no way to package you a quart of ice cream. I have no way to charge a quart of ice cream. It's going to be soft serve. She didn't want soft serve. And I was like, ma'am, there's a 7-Eleven across the street that I'm sure serves ice cream. And there's like ice cream stores here in like the city.
Did you tell that?
I did.
Did you say my pleasure afterwards?
No, I didn't actually.
Oh, no.
That's it.
I don't
you did
think
not
so.
say my pleasure.
I don't think so because she sat there and I was like, what? I was like, what would you like me to do? How could I help you? She goes, give me a quart of ice cream. I'm like, ma'am, we don't have a quart of ice cream. And she ran over our cone and left and was straight through the over the thing.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
I should have yelled it at her as
Hey,
she was leaving.
if someone's yelling at you or cursing at you, you're still supposed to say my pleasure.
When somebody yells or curses at me, I would smile politely and leave. The only time that I ever yelled at a customer, and this one really got me, is they happened to be smoking weed in the drive-thru as I was trying to take their order. When I asked her to clarify, she took a drag of her like joint and looked at my face and blew it at me. And I was like, you can F off in the Chick-fil-A drive-thru. I went in. Luckily, the owner was working. I told him exactly what happened. And I was like, somebody else is going to go out there and handle it. And he ended up kicking her out of the drive-thru, like didn't serve her and everything. I was like, that was the first time I'd ever yelled at a customer. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't do it.
That's rude, though.
It was no, because I'd
I
asked her
would
to
love
stop.
to be cursed at by there. Could you imagine? You're the worst. My pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I just smile and wave. It's the best you can do.
Is that what the training they kind of give you?
Pretty
like,
much.
hey, just kind
That's
of.
kind of all customer service training, though. It's like they have to be happy at the end of the day. Like you want customers to return, but at the same time, like there's always just rude people.
Come back and visit us on Sunday, ma'am. My pleasure.
Like there's always the customers who come in who are just gonna like trash the place. Like at Mother's Day at our last place that we did, we were like discounting like $200 tabs to like $20-$50, and people were only tipping on $20 or $50. And that's just like, there's nothing you can do about it, but you still have to smile because at the end of the day, you want them to come back. Because if they don't come back, then you don't make money either.
Yeah.
So like it sucks, but you just got to do what you got to do.
All right, my last question.
Okay.
Why do I crave Chick-fil-A on Sundays?
I do
And
too.
only on
It's
Sundays.
because it's Jesus
I love
chicken.
Chick-fil-A. I love
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A. Don't get me wrong. I like it. And sometimes I'm driving like, what do I want to eat? Oh, you know, I'll go Chick-fil-A. But on Sundays,
Sunday.
I have some reason on Sundays, I'm like, I got to eat
It's
Chick-fil-A.
because it's Jesus chicken. Like I think he's telling us like this is the Lord's chicken and you need it on
but
Sunday.
you can't give me Jesus chicken.
You just want because you want it because you can't have it.
Yeah.
Do you ever notice that? Like Sundays,
Yeah.
you
Yeah, I
definitely
do.
think of Chick-fil-A. When I'm driving around on Tuesday or Wednesday, I don't really think Chick-fil-A unless I drive by and go, oh, Chick-fil-A. But on Sundays, I'm like, what do you want to eat? I want Chick-fil-A. And I'm like,
Spicy
it's
chicken
not
sandwich
open.
every Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
Why don't they open up one Sunday a year and give it all to charity?
that's a really good
Wouldn't
idea.
that be a great thing?
That's a really good
One
thing.
day a year, 100% of the proceeds go to charity.
That's a really good
And
idea.
Chick-fil-A opens up. I mean, it's a tax write-off. You know what I'm saying? Let's say they gave $50,000 for that day. It'd all be a tax write-off. But Sunday they should open up one Sunday. God will understand.
Yeah.
Just say my pleasure.
I think it's like a great concept to like
Super
give
Bowl.
Sundays off.
Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Bowl Sunday.
Chick-fil-A is open.
I know that like some of those like big holidays, like I know our ownership said that we sold $70,000 to $90,000 worth of food a year
On a
certain like a big day, like a
July 4th or something falling on a Tuesday.
something like that. Or one of our big ones that we did was like a high school graduation was like the location college graduation. The location was like right by where our Chick-fil-A was. So it was everybody going to the college graduation and leaving the college graduation. I think they just said they did like $110,000 in sales.
Fast food. Wow. I'm like, we're taking, I know we're closed Sunday. We're closed Saturday and Sunday this week.
Everybody gets a day off for
Every
that.
extra day off. We were not at 4-minute sandwiches. We were at 40-second sandwiches.
Sounds like Chick-fil-A is the franchise to get in on.
I'm in.
Well, we appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. I had so much fun.
Barrel rolls this weekend. We're going.
Okay.
I'm in.
I'll drink again if y'all let me land the plane.
Done. I'm done. I'm in.
But Until we figure out how to get me drunk landing a plane, check us out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, X, and soon somewhattipsy.com. Yeah.
This episode brought to you by Stir Hospitality.
Go to stirhospitality.com if you are a new restaurant. If you're a restaurant that is not seeing the profits that you used to,
Bar and nightclub.
bar and nightclub too, they will get you back in the black. Stirhospitality.com.